Hey, shalom, shalom. All right, before I get started with this lesson today, I just want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Rachakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and salutations unto the elect. All right, now, in this lesson, all right, I just want to go into, basically, it's going to be a part two, all right, to the lesson that I did previously. All right, going into the comment that Bishop, well, not Bishop, I keep calling him a Bishop, but I don't know if he's a bishop or not, so I'm just going to say his name, Yawasop. He's a member of the IUIC. You see, and the comment that he made was, just give me the English. The English is good for me. All right, basically saying that you don't have to go into the Hebrew and the Greek to get the full understanding. Just read it face value in the English. Well, when you're approaching these scriptures and you're attempting to break down the scriptures, you have to approach it with a scholarly mindset. You have to go into words. You have to go into the Hebrew and the Greek, because we know that these scriptures were originally written in the Hebrew. You see, and been translated into the Greek and then the English. You see, so the words have been lost in translation. You see, and particular words, lost. It was lost in translation. You see, but I'm just wanting to, in this lesson, all right, as it's going to be a part two, I just want to go into, all right, another example, all right, into going into this, how it's important to go into the Hebrew, all right, and what was I going to say? I was going to say something, just like in Acts 12, last lesson, all right, going to Acts 12, that word Easter there really should be Passover, not Easter, but if you were reading at face value, you would think you're supposed to celebrate Easter, where you pick up eggs and shit, and the Easter bunny man, whatever. You see, that's not true. That word there, Easter, should be replaced with Passover. All right, because that's what it was talking about. The Passover in the Greek is Pascha, in the Hebrew is Pasach. All right. So in this lesson, all right, in this other example I'm going to get here in Exodus 12 and 42 is going to the word stranger. So let's get into it. Exodus 12 and 42. It is a night to be much observed unto the Lord for bringing them out of the land of Egypt. That is the night of the Lord to be observed of all the children of Israel in their generations. 43. And the Lord, which is his name is Yahweh, said unto Moses and Aaron, this is the ordinance of the Passover, and there shall no stranger eat thereof. You see, going into this word stranger. Now let's go down to the 47th chapter. So it's saying here, the stranger can't eat of the Passover. So let's go down to the 47th chapter. It says, well, I said 47th chapter, but the 47th verse. It says, all the congregation of Israel shall keep it, and when a stranger shall sojourn with thee, and will keep the Passover to Yahweh, let all his males be circumcised, and then let him come near and keep it, and he shall be as one that is born in the land, for no uncircumcised person shall eat thereof. You see, now, reading this, all right, face value, reading this with the mindset of, what do you call it? What's his name? Yawasab. Reading this in the mindset of Yawasab. The English is good for me. Just give me the English. All right, you're not going to understand what's being spoken about here, because one thing is in the top verse is saying the stranger can't eat of the Passover. Now it's saying, all right, that the stranger can eat of the Passover, and but all his males got to be circumcised. You see, to someone that is unlearned and doesn't go into the words, it's going to seem like the scriptures is contradicting itself. You see, but you have to go back into the Hebrew, the true meaning, all right, of these words. You see, so let's go into the first stranger we just read here in 42. We have to go into the Hebrew. The apostles and elders always stress the importance of going into the Hebrew and the Greek. Really, mostly our Hebrew too, because that's our language. You see, that's the part of our nationality that we're coming back into, our language, man, our heritage. We're coming back into that. Our what do you say? Our diet, our language, are coming into the promises. We knowing all these things. We're coming back into our heritage after we've been discontinued from it, pursuant to Jeremiah 17 and verse 4. You see, but you have to go into the Hebrew, man, and it was Hebrew is a very important part, all right, of this thing, and we're not telling anybody to be fluent in the Hebrew. Like I said before, I'm not fluent in Hebrew. You see, but you can at least know certain words in the Hebrew, like the names of the Heavenly Father, which is Yahweh, and His only begotten Son, Yahushua. You don't have to speak fluent Hebrew, to say their names. All right, but let's go into the and that's really why they say, all right, that's why they say, just give me the English. That's well, Slovakia. I'm getting my words all mixed up. That's why they use particular excuses like, what is it? Oh, we can't speak fluent Hebrew, or we can't say the true names because not everybody's going to understand it. Well, it's too easy to say the names in the Hebrew. You don't have to speak fluent Hebrew, you know. But let's get into it. Just go back into the point. Let's go back into the point. Let's get into this word stranger. The first stranger here. All right. Now this stranger here in the Hebrew is nakar. All right, nakar. You see, it says, and this is the stranger that cannot eat of the Passover. We're going to read it again. It says, the Lord said unto Moses and Aaron, this is the ordinance of the Passover. There shall no stranger eat thereof. Right. This is a different stranger than the one as we're going to read in verse 47 or 48. So going to this word stranger here, the first one, the Hebrew word is nakar. All right. And it says foreign, alien, or foreigners, that which is foreign, foreigners, foreign gods, alien, foreigner, foreign. You go here in the Strong's definition, nakar, foreign, or concretely a foreigner, or abstractly heathendom, alien, strange. You see, so this is talking about, all right, the heathen. The heathen cannot partake in the Passover. They can't do the Passover because really, all right, this whole Bible is not for them. The covenants are not for them. It's only for the children of Israel. You see, the Lord delivered Israel out of the land of Egypt. You see, this is talking about the heathen. The heathen have no part, all right, in the Passover, in the law, statutes, commandments. All right, so this is what this word here in verse 43 is talking about. This stranger here is talking about the heathens. All right, now to the someone who's just reading at face value, you're gonna think it's actually talking about the same stranger here in verse 47. Well, verse 48, Slakia. You see? So let's Exodus 12 and 48. We get this word stranger here. All right. Now you see, as we go down here, all right, the word is different for stranger. In the Hebrew is gar. All right, gar, a sojourner, a temporary inhabitant and newcomer, lacking inheriting rights of foreigners in Israel, though conceded rights. You see, so this stranger here, which is Hebrew, which is completely different from the other one. The first one we read was nakar, which is a heathen. This one is gar, which is an Israelite foreigner, all right, who was a stranger in the land, who wasn't a homeborn, who wasn't born in the land. You see, this is talking about an Israelite foreigner. So you're saying, going to this verse, Exodus 12 and 48, it says when a stranger or an Israelite foreigner, because he's still an Israelite, he still has the rights. It says, shall sojourn with thee and will keep the Passover to the Lord, Yahweh, let all his males be circumcised. You see? So in order for them to keep the Passover, you have to have his males have to be circumcised. You see, this is the requirement. It says, and then let him come near and keep it. And he shall be as one that is born in the land, for no uncircumcised person shall eat thereof. You see, because the Israelite foreigners, that he was talking about here, they weren't born in the land. They were base aliens, foreigners. You see? So let's go to, let's get this word stranger again. All right, because this Hebrew word is gar. Now, gar, it goes back to Gershom, which in the Hebrew is gar rasham. You see, so gar here goes into, Salakia. Stranger here, gar goes back to Garasham, all right, which is Gershom, which is the son of Moses. And we're going to get into it. Let's just get into it. All right, let's get Exodus 2. All right, verse 22. All right, it says, and she bare him a son, and she, Slakia, he says, and he, talking about Moses, called his name Gershom. In the Hebrew is Garasham. For he, who, Moses, said, I have been a stranger in a strange land. You see, so Moses being an Israelite, he was a stranger in a strange land. You see, because remember, he had to flee, all right, from Egypt. All right, so what do you call it? Moses was a foreigner. That's why he named his son Gershom, because he had been a foreigner in a strange land. Gershom, let's get this in the Hebrew. Gar, God was like it. Ga, Ra, Sha, Ma. So Gar, Shum. Gar, Shum. You combine the Ga and the Ra and the Sha and the Ma. So Gar, Shum. Garshum. All right, you see the foreigner. And Gershom means foreigner. You see, because what? Moses was a foreigner, all right, in a strange land. He was an alien. He was a stranger. You see, the same thing as it's talking about here, all right, in Exodus, all right, let's see, Exodus 12 and 48. You see, the stranger here is talking about Israelite foreigners, all right? So just going into that, see, that's why it's important, all right, to go into the Hebrew, because if you were to read this face value in the mindset of Yahweh Sab, you wouldn't understand this. You wouldn't understand what these two strangers are talking about. You would think that the scriptures contradicts itself because it's saying that the stranger can keep it here, all right, in verse 43. Then all of a sudden now they can keep it in verse 48. You see? But no, you just have to go into the Hebrew, all right, dig deeper, all right, into the words. You know, so that was pretty much it. Another example, of why going into the Hebrew, all right, and the Greek is really important, all right, to get the true understanding of the scriptures, all right. You have to have that scholarly mindset about you, all right, to go into the words and look up things, all right, and to understand, what was going on, So that was pretty much it. Hopefully, this lesson was edifying. And with that, I just want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rechakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and salutations unto